I don't see fat the same way I used to see it. Basically, the body, when we have an emotional release, like liver holding it right here, the water comes as a universal solvent to take stuff out of the body, and the emotions have a visceral effect. So that's why when someone sweats and they're angry, you can smell it differently than they sweat and they're sad. There's actually a different odor to it. So what happens is the water sits there waiting for the organ to release, and if the organ doesn't release, and it sits on the meridian lines too, all the way through there. And if the organ's not releasing the emotion, it just sits there waiting, but it can't penetrate. And the other part too is if it sits there too long, it starts to go yellow. It sits there too long, it goes white. That's what we call fat. But then the question is, when we do the work, people seem to lose weight. They seem to lose fat.
So what happens to that murky, like white fat when we do fascia maneuvers? It's going to be absorbed into our organs?
Yeah, well, what we're doing is we're moving stuff through. The typical way to lose fat is to burn it out, right? Starve it out. But when we burn it out, we dry it out, we compress the tissue. We're not necessarily getting rid of the fat, we're compressing the layers of fascia. And then as we start to open up the body, open up the layers of fascia, you get friction. So now friction, the movement starts to eat the fat.
Oh.
But if your layers of fascia aren't moving, if your body's really tight inside, it's not moving, it's not enough friction between the layers. So it's hard to get the fat to burn. So that's why people who do fascial maneuvers look thinner, look younger, more blood flow.
And for people who are really skinny, they're gonna gain weight?
Yeah, sometimes it's to balance you into homeostasis. I mean, everybody's got their natural. I used to think that people that were a little heavier, I used to think that was unhealthy. But by lab work, I couldn't verify that. I've seen people that look unhealthy that are healthy according to all the measurements, and people that look healthy that are not healthy according to all the measurements. So basically what I found is, after testing literally 10,000 people, I found that the ones that were genuinely happy in their life had better lab work and blood work. Those ones who were angry or sad or depressed tend to have worse health. And it's really that simple.
Thank you.
So it means you're not taking anything from the food. So where does the fat come from? That's what I kept saying. How does the body, what is the body doing? And that's the water. So when we have anger, the water surrounds the organ waiting for the release. You're really angry, it sits there. Oh yeah. No release, it just keeps sitting there. It's waiting for that dancing at night to get it out. It doesn't, it just sits there. And if it keeps sitting there, it goes brown. And then eventually, if it sits there long enough, it goes white. And all that is it's the water that was used to clear out the emotions or the toxins of the emotions.
So do you think mainly fat is anger, or?
No, it could be sadness, it could be fear, it can be anything. Usually fear makes people skinny at first for a long time.
Right.
But then they're across a point where then they get fat and they can't, because it's dysregulation of the adrenal glands.
Right.